Before you begin, listen to this. If you feel like this video didn't come to you by chance, you're right. You didn't find this video. This video found you. There's a reason you were guided here. And before this message reveals everything heaven wants to tell you today, do something now. Subscribe to the Chosen Signal channel. Share with someone who also carries invisible marks. Comment below, "I am the chosen one," if something inside you has already started to awaken. Have you ever noticed that the more you shine in silence, the more noise the world makes against you? As if your mere existence triggers violent and inexplicable reactions around you. This is not weakness. This is a sign that there is something in you that the spiritual world recognizes even before you understand it. You have been marked, not by people but by heaven, not by accidents but by purpose. And when someone carries a divine seal, even without speaking, even without showing it, they begin to disturb the shadows that others carry. You are a living memory of what others have buried, a mirror of what they have fled, a reflection of what the world cannot bear to see, pure truth, a clean soul, unmasked light. And that is why they attack you. Not because they know you, but because they feel you. You are not here by mistake, not in this life, not at this very moment. Everything was orchestrated to the millimeter, including the betrayals, the pain, the silences, and even the injustices. Nothing escaped the higher plan, and if you think it was bad luck, a mistake, a punishment, wake up. What hurt you was activated by your own destiny. What seemed like destruction was the baptism of the chosen ones. A secret preparation in the midst of pain. You were not rejected for being weak. You were separated for carrying something too strong for shallow environments, too strong for ordinary people. Rejection was the test of the seal. Loneliness was the voice from heaven saying, "You do not belong here." People didn't abandon you. They were removed. Those who mocked you, who belittled you, who walked away when you needed them most. These weren't just human choices. They were spiritual interventions. Because what is growing in you now, this quiet glow, this invisible strength, this peace that no one understands, is the work of a kingdom that works in the hidden. You weren't excluded, you were hidden. You weren't forgotten, you were protected. And today, that protection is revealed. Those who made you cry didn't know they were pushing you right to your throne. The attack wasn't random. It was the sign that the crown was near, and now something is happening in the unseen. You feel it. The air has changed. The weather feels different. People are reaping what they have sown. The silence you have kept is turning into justice. Heaven has begun to move parts that no human being can stop. Karma? Not only that, it is spiritual response. It is divine retribution. It is the balance being corrected by heavenly hands. You did not need to retaliate because your peace was more powerful than any revenge. And right now, as you listen to this message, the kingdom is shouting within you. You were chosen before the world began, and now the time has come for you to rise up. You are not waking up, you are remembering, because everything you are feeling now was already written in your soul before you were born. You simply forgot. You forgot who you were. You forgot what you carried. You forgot why you were sent. And every tear, every abandonment, every humiliation was a sacred clue that brought you back to this very moment, because heaven never stopped calling you. And now the frequency of your spirit is tuning in to the call. And this is frightening for those who tried to erase your essence, because you are no longer confused. You are being restored. You are emerging from the ashes, not as a victim, but as a living witness. That pain does not destroy, it only reveals the indestructible. Do you remember the nights when no one understood you? The days when your soul screamed, but no one listened? Do you remember thinking, maybe I'm the problem? Now you know, you were the sign. A living code from heaven that unintentionally exposed everything others tried to hide. And that's why they wanted to silence you, confuse you, belittle you. But what they didn't know is that the fire they were trying to extinguish came from within. And what is born from within cannot be extinguished from without. You were forged in secret. Your spirit was tempered in tears that heaven did not ignore. Every solitary prayer was stored. Every weary sigh was noted. And now it all returns, multiplied, not for revenge, but for justice. You think you are alone, but you are not. Others also carry the same seal. Others also wake up at night feeling that something is about to change. Others have also been rejected for the same reasons. You are part of an invisible lineage, a silent army that walks the earth but belongs to heaven. The chosen ones do not wear plaques, do not promote themselves, do not shout their name. They are recognized by what they carry, and you carry something. Something that makes portals open, something that changes atmospheres, something that breaks cycles just by its presence. Do not doubt yourself anymore. What you feel is real. What you lived had meaning. What comes now will be revelation. What if I told you that what seemed like a delay was actually divine acceleration? That the time when everything stopped was the interval where you were reprogrammed? Because heaven doesn't want you to just walk, it wants you to fly. But to fly, you have to let go of weight. Let go of people, let go of old versions of yourself, and that hurts. But it's necessary, because you're not going where others are going. You're going where only the chosen ones can go. And there, you only get there light, clean, and ready. And now that you're ready, doors are about to open. Doors that no one else could walk through, because they were tailor-made for your awakened soul. There's a reason you've always felt like you didn't fit in. Ever since you were a child, there was something about you that made you different. It wasn't arrogance, it wasn't pride. It was the reflection of heaven inside a human body. And the world, so used to masks, didn't know how to deal with someone who carried raw truth in their eyes. They tried to mold you, adjust you, silence you, but your soul wouldn't bend. No matter how much they tried to program you, you were born again with each attempt to erase you, because you were encoded with freedom, the freedom to be who heaven wrote, not who the world tried to define. And today that encoding is awakening. You are breaking out of old systems. You are accessing something that many fear, your true spiritual identity. You were called exaggerated, too sensitive, too intense, and you believed that for a long time. You tried to reduce yourself, to adapt, to keep quiet. But every attempt to fit into someone else's mold made your soul sick, because you weren't born to fit in, you were born to expand. What others saw as too much was just a reflection of what was deep inside you. Your sensitivity wasn't a weakness, it was a sensor. Your intensity wasn't a mistake, it was a compass. And now the sky is giving you back what you buried to please others. It's giving you back the freedom to feel, to shine, to exist fully, without fear of offending with your light. Because your light doesn't hurt, it just exposes the wounds that others refuse to heal. Feel it now. Something is moving inside you. A warmth that doesn't come from the body. A call that doesn't come from thought. It's the spirit aligning itself with destiny. It's the confirmation you've been waiting for without knowing it. You've been activated. Since the day everything started to fall apart, since the moment they said you couldn't make it, a force began to grow beneath the ruins. And now it's ready to emerge. You're not the same. And no matter how hard you try to go back to what you were, something pulls you forward, upward, toward the sacred. You're in transition, from victim to warrior, from oppressed to heir, from silence to prophet. The time for hiding is over. The time for silence in order to be accepted is over. Now is the time for voice, for presence, for manifestation. The earth groans, waiting for the revelation of the children of light, and you are one of them. It is time to take your place, not with pride, but with awareness. Because your brilliance is not only yours, it is code. It is healing. It is a calling. Wherever you go, atmospheres change. Wherever you step, chains break. But to do so, you need to accept who you are. Stop sabotaging yourself. Stop doubting. Stop pretending you don't feel what you feel. Because the more you repress, the further you distance yourself from heaven. And heaven is saying, the time for courage has come. The time for appearance has come. The time for the chosen one to rise up has come. You were trained by pain, but now you will be moved by glory. Every tear that fell in silence was sowing spiritual ground that you will tread with authority. Nothing was in vain. No rejection, no slander, no abandonment. Each of these moments was a silent lesson. A secret lesson to forge discernment, empathy, and strength that no one could teach you with words. You learned by watching. You grew up bleeding. You evolved in silence. And now, while many are still trying to understand how to approach the truth, you carry it on your skin, in your scars, in your eyes. You are not fragile. You are refined. You are not wounded. You are marked. Because heaven does not send just anyone to high missions. It sends those who are polished. And you were polished. They thought they had won. That by excluding you, by laughing at your faith, by mocking your silence, they had silenced you forever. But what they didn't know is that the silence of the chosen is fertile. You didn't disappear. You were sown, buried in secrecy to grow with deep roots. And now the sprout is breaking through the earth. It is rising with strength. It is blossoming with grace. It is announcing that what seemed like the end was only the beginning. Heaven hid you to reveal you at the right time, because your appearance has weight, your voice carries codes, and your journey will break. Family curses, free others trapped in invisible chains, and rekindle fires that were dying out. You thought it was just about you, didn't you? That everything you experienced was personal. But now you're beginning to understand. You are the spearhead of a generation, the key to a lineage, the answer to an ancient prayer made by someone who never even knew you. You are a prophetic legacy, and that's why the war was so intense. That's why the attacks were so profound, because what you carry is not just for your benefit, it's to break entire cycles. You were raised to rewrite stories, to inaugurate a new spiritual frequency in your home, in your city, in your blood. And when you embrace this, when you say yes with your spirit, all of heaven moves to support you. Do you feel it? The air is heavy, the heart is pounding, the skin is crawling for no logical reason. This is not emotion, this is confirmation. What is happening now is not just a video, it is an activation. The words are awakening spiritual cells that were dormant. And the more you listen, the more you remember, the more you align, the more you understand that you are not wasting time. You are returning to your center, and in that center, there is a voice. And that voice is calling you by a name that no one else knows, a name that only heaven recognizes, a name that carries a mission, that carries power. And that voice is saying, son, daughter, your time has come. Arise, walk, shine. You spent years trying to explain what you felt, trying to be understood by people who didn't have the ability to see the invisible. But don't blame yourself. They don't have the map of your soul, because that map wasn't given to men, it was given to the Spirit. And now the Spirit is activating coordinates within you that are taking you to territories that only the truly awakened can access. Territories where words aren't enough, where only vibration and truth survive. And because of that, you no longer fit into superficial places. Your conversations have changed, your tastes have changed, your relationships are being purified, because the sky is tuning its frequency to receive what can only be received by pure hearts and clear eyes. People will say you've changed. They'll accuse you of pulling away, of being weird, of being cold. But what they don't know is that you're not pulling away. You're being separated. because there's a place they can't go, a reserved space in the kingdom that doesn't accept emotional impurities or destructive attachments or alliances based on need. Only those who enter lightly, only those who enter freely. And that's the path you're on now, a lonely but sacred path, a path where every step requires sacrifice but also brings glory. And that glory doesn't come with the spotlight. It comes with peace. It comes with certainty. It comes with purpose. And you're learning that being understood is no longer a priority. Being obedient is. Many looked down on you. They underestimated you. They called you a dreamer, deluded, too spiritual. But now those same eyes are starting to change. They feel, even if they don't admit it, that something is protecting you, that something is guiding you, that something is exalting you without making a fuss. And that disconcerts them, because you didn't play their game, you didn't sell out, you didn't corrupt yourself, you didn't fall into their traps. And now, while everything around you is collapsing, you are standing tall. And heaven is using this as testimony. You are living proof that it is possible to maintain faith in the midst of falling, that it is possible to flourish even when rejected, that it is possible to be a light without having to put anyone out. The time has come for you to stop hiding, to apologize for being intense, to shrink so as not to disturb. You were made to disturb, yes, the darkness. You were made to reveal, to open paths, to awaken others. Your brilliance is not arrogance, it is a mission. Your presence is not a burden, it is an antidote. And now everything that was held back, everything that seemed stuck, everything that seemed forgotten, begins to unlock. Heaven is releasing resources, connections, wisdom, and strength, because you have already shown that you are faithful in the little things. Now the much will come. Not because of human merit, but because of spiritual alignment. You no longer need to strive to prove anything. You just need to continue being, because being is already your weapon. Do not fear the looks that do not understand you. Do not fear the winds that try to destabilize you. What is upon you cannot be stolen, cannot be replaced, cannot be silenced. It is an anointing, a promise, a designation from above. Heaven has marked you, and that is enough. You may not have diplomas, connections, fame, or recognition, but you have what matters, the approval of the kingdom. And that is worth more than 1,000 human applauses, because when heaven says go, not even the whole earth can stop it. And now that is what heaven is saying, go. Advance without fear, without breaks, without doubts, because what is on the other side of this obedience is the fulfillment of everything that seemed like a dream, but was always destiny. You will not be exalted because you defeated others, but because you defeated yourself, because you chose the narrow path when the wide path was easier, because you preferred the truth when a lie would have brought you applause, because you chose to remain silent when shouting seemed more just. Heaven is honoring you from within. It is healing your roots, restoring your vision, rekindling the fire that the world tried to extinguish. And when everything aligns, you will understand. The wait was protection, the delay was direction, the tear was language, and the silence was a seal. Now that you no longer need to prove anything, heaven will show you everything. And when they show your story, they will have to admit it was God. It can only have been God. You are not a survivor. You are a resurrected one. Because you were not just wounded. You were buried, forgotten, ignored. And yet you rose again, not as before, but as a version of yourself that carries wisdom, grace, maturity, and anointing. You now walk with different eyes, speak with a different voice, move with a different spirit. And this spirit is the same one that raised the dead, the same one that tore the veil, the same one that is now breathing life into your projects, healing into your bonds, and fire into your bones. You are not just coming back, you are being sent like an arrow to the target, like a trumpet that announces, like a flame that rekindles, and no one will be able to stop what heaven has activated. This is your time, this is your season. Not just to start over, but to rule over all that has hurt you. Your throne is being prepared, and it is not built with gold, but with purified tears and secret faithfulness. You will not take revenge. You will transform. You will not retaliate. You will redeem. You will not repeat patterns. You will break them. Because the truly chosen one does not lower himself to what has hurt him. He rises to the level of heaven. And when you take that place, it will not be to dominate, but to serve, to heal, to illuminate. And many will see your light and say, "How did he do it?" And you will know the answer is, "I did not do it. Heaven carried me this far." Now take a deep breath and listen. What God has started in you, no one can stop. Not hell, not losses, not the past, not your own fears. Everything cooperated, everything served, everything led you here. And now that you are standing awake and aware, declare with authority in the comments, "I've been chosen and no one can stop what God has begun in me." Not out of pride, but out of destiny. Not for self-glory, but out of divine mission. Share this message with someone who also carries invisible scars. Spread the call. Proclaim the truth. Subscribe to the Chosen Signal channel. Activate the bell so you don't miss any spiritual transmission. Comment, share, and declare what heaven already knows about you. Because the world has yet to see what a chosen one can do when he decides to remember who he really is. You're not waking up, you're coming home.